listening to the MycoGeeky Podcast, a podcast that inspires people to grow mushrooms at home to improve their mental, emotional, and physical health. Most people call him geeky, and he is a passionate mushroom cultivator, advocate, and educator. Every week, he sits down with fellow cultivators, mushroom educators, scientists, and therapists to discuss the various ways people can approach mushroom cultivation and how mushrooms can be used to improve their lives.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the MycoGeeky Podcast, the podcast that goes deep so you can level up your at-home mushroom cultivation game. I'm your host, MycoGeeky, and boy, was it a busy Monday for me. Holy cow. But here we are, about to do an episode that I have been waiting to do for quite a long time. Now, let me just tell you this. So sometimes I ask people to be on, and they go, okay, we're doing it right now, tonight, this week. When are we doing it? Let's go. Other people I ask and they say, okay, I want to do this right. It's like I'm only going to invite them on the show one time, but that's fine. And they go, I'm going to wait. There's going to be a time where in my life, there's going to be a voice in my head that says, now, go, get on that podcast right now. So I have been waiting to have this dude on this show for a while. And he was like, it's not quite right. It's not quite right. So I love this. He puts the same level of care and attention into his grows, into his cultivation practice. You can see it at every level of what he does. And we're going to get into all of it. And hopefully it'll help you guys, inspire you to make some adjustments to your growing techniques. Maybe it'll give you some new ideas. Maybe you are going to sit there and go, that's cool for you, but I don't grow that way. It's all good. But I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to like to hear what this guy's up to, what he does, how he works. I know I do. I have valued his friendship for the last few years. I have really loved watching him grow and develop as a cultivator, going from somebody who was brand new to crushing it. So we're going to talk to Wardrobe Fungi tonight. Before we do that, yeah, I just got back from MycoFest. No, I haven't had a chance to even do a single freaking post about it. I will. Shout out to William Padilla Brown for hosting what was my first, but his 10th MycoFest. It was pretty well run, man. Despite a little bit of rain here and there, man, we did some foraying. There was a lot of vendors. There were some amazing presentations. And then, of course, every night, super live in the house, musical guests. It was a lot of fun. I brought my two kids, my two youngest, my 9 and my 5-year-old. They had a blast hanging out, playing with the kids, riding their bikes around. It was a great time. I got to see some of the homies. I got shout out to PGT, shout out to medicinal mycologist. Got to meet him. Who else? Oh, my buddy over at Cellar Door Fungus gave me a little tincture here. I'm going to have to give that a try. Cellar Door Fungus. Super nice guy. Chit-chatted with him for quite a while. Seems to be doing some cool stuff. Guess what it's all about, man? Just getting out there and meeting people. Oh, guess who I got to hang out with for a few minutes? The one and only Bill Russell. He gave a talk, an amazing talk. You want to know what's cool? Seeing a guy who's like 80 years old, who's been looking for mushrooms for 50 plus years, still fucking enthusiastic about mushrooms. Didn't have a grin on his face, talking about every little mushroom he was talking about in his talk. And I had heard he was the man. He was really cool to meet. He told some amazing stories. And so I felt compelled to buy his book, Field Guide to Wild Mushrooms of Pennsylvania and the Mid-Atlantic. And I start going through this book, and the intro just feels exactly like my kind of dude. And then I get through here and I'm like, okay, cool. Wow. Holy shit. This is like the book I've been waiting to read about looking for mushrooms. And then section 1, spring mushrooms, summer mushrooms, fall mushrooms. It's a great book. I bought it for $25. If you're looking for like a first field guide and you're roughly in the Mid-Atlantic region, it's probably a good book to start with. Who else did I see there? Oh, a bunch of people that watched the show, reached out and said hello. I got to hang out with some of them. I got to briefly see some others. Um, but yeah, Michael Fest is cool, guys. You guys got to get out and check it out. Um, what else we got going on here? Oh yeah, I showed you guys this last week. This is this thing, this little like trading card box, one of a kind from Stealthy Spores. Check it out. The mycelium's the bottom of the box. It's so cool. I keep showing it off because I hope he makes it available for, wide distribution and not just a really nice gift that he gave me. Anyway, shout out to Stealthy Spores. Go to stealthyspores.com, promo code geeky for 10% off. All the money, all the little kickback money that I make off of the Stealthy Spore sales goes to the Myco Mamas and their mycelium revolution. I will be hanging out with Myco Mamas in October at NAMA. So if you guys don't already got your NAMA tickets, sorry, but if there's still some tickets available, get them, get out there. All right, went to Mexico. We're doing a show in the next week or two. We got to coordinate, trying to get a lot of people on a show. It's a bit of a process. But I've been working, I had a little 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐿escence print. So I got me, let me see if I can do that. We got some germination happening on the 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐿escence plate T0 from 𝐜𝐤𝐤𝐞. Hell yes. What else? Oh, shout out to Mind Spirit Contact on Instagram. He gave me a print last year from, I can't remember where he said it was, obviously somewhere in 𝐜𝐤𝐤, but I did some isolations and found one that just seemed to be growing a little bit better than the rest, isolated that out. And so my current record had been this other isolation I had where when I put it on a plate, it would pin on the plate in 3 months. Mind Spirit Contacts culture, this was 5.9. And we got pins. And we got pins. And we got pins. And yes, I'm going to swab those. And yes, we're going to go G2 on those. Anyway, lots of fun. Exotics are cool. Why are they cool? Because once you get cubes figured out and you've grown every one of them, you got to grow something else. So speaking of that, we're going to talk about growing something else with our guest tonight. So let's bring him on the show. So without further ado, my friend, an Instagram legend, if you've been in the cube community even for a hot minute, the one and only Wardrobe Fungi. What's up, man?
What's up, Geeky? Thank you for having me.
Man, you already know. You already know. My pleasure. I am honored to have you on. Cannot wait to get into it. How you been?
Things are good. Staying busy. It's hot as hell in the lab, so haven't been doing a whole lot in here. Just kind of coasting, waiting for it to cool off. But I keep things moving.
How hot is it in there? Where are you? Are you in a freaking greenhouse, dude?
Sure. Yeah, more or less.
Oh, okay.
I'm up high in a building, so the heat,
Okay, I see. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah, man. I remember the first time when I was young, we moved from a single-story home to a two-story home, and just the reality of that second story in the summer. Holy God. Yeah, heat rises. It's not a myth.
Yeah. Well, usually when I work in here, I'm completely soaked in sweat by the time I'm done. It's kind of gross. So, just facing myself right now.
It's all good, man. That's like me pretty much when I do anything at all. So I can relate. Well, so let's do this. It's nothing new. We got to do your first mushroom memory, and then we're going to get into your myco origin story. So start off the first earliest memory you have of mushrooms.
Yeah, well, I grew up in the rural Midwest, so always went out mushroom hunting with my family, looking for morels. And, I spent a lot of time in the woods, and you see other things, and they're usually just referred to as toadstools, just this huge blanket term that describes who knows how many species. And then, at some point in college, I got a local mycology book, and it just opened up my world. So that was a lot of fun. But yeah, hunting morels and hanging out with friends. I remember sometimes we'd find giant mushrooms and just throw them at each other, or throw them at trees.
Yes. It's throwing a mushroom feels good.
This thing is crazy. Like, let's destroy it. I don't know why, but
And yet
That's
that's
what we
good
did.
for it. Like, right? You
That's
didn't
true,
even
yeah.
realize that you were doing it a favor.
That's true.
Yes. I love hearing people tell me about their childish instincts to just obliterate mushrooms. That is,
Yeah, absolutely. Have a mushroom fight, just throw them at each other. That's what I
yes,
did. I don't know
exactly.
why.
Oh man, we would try to see like the shell fungus. We'd always want to reach the one we couldn't reach, or if we found a really large mushroom, oh, you just had to completely obliterate it against a tree.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
had to. Yes. All right. So I like that. I feel like that's a pretty common early story. It's great. Not everybody gets to go forage with their family. Not everybody even gets to walk around in the woods with their family. So not everybody's story looks like that. That
Mhm.
story looks a little bit more like mine. I didn't do it with my family. I just did it by myself all the time. But that that early love for nature and developing, how do you have a relationship? You got to spend time with the person, right? Like in our real lives, interpersonal lives. If you say you're in a relationship, that usually means you spend time with that person. Well, how do you have a relationship with nature? You got to go spend time with nature. And if you do that, then you just start appreciating nature because it is not hard to do. So,
Yeah, lots of weird stuff out there to discover.
yes, definitely a paradise for children. If your parents are there, probably eventually gets to become a tiring place to get 100,000 questions. My kid today was in the question mode. What does that mean? What does that mean? All day. And yeah, that's fun. But yes, it's great. It's good to have that curiosity, that thirst for all that good stuff. And I know that is a part of your story too. You are definitely a lover of nature. Talk a little bit more about your relationship with nature beyond just as a child.
Yeah, it's our best teacher. So I'm also very active as an artist, and we got to go back to nature. There's a time to, I think, have ideas and explore your own ideas or explore your inner world. But there has to be this dualistic approach, I think, to getting outside of yourself as well. And I do a lot of hiking. Sometimes foraging, sometimes just wandering through the woods. And I think it's important for my mental health to do that.
Yeah, dude, it's definitely important. I don't even need to read a study about it. Like,
Yeah.
it's where all of our ancestors were.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Like, think about how new it is that we live in apartments and condos and
Yeah.
McMansions and ranch homes. And
Yeah, sometimes I wake up feeling like shit. Well, pretty much every day, actually, because I don't sleep well. But man, as soon as I go outside and that air hits me, it's a different world. And sorry about that.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Pretty much can't get out there enough.
Yeah.
All right. I love that. I think in this day and age, with the amount of rising depression, rising anxiety, rising PTSD, rising all these like not super hardcore, not like schizophrenia and bipolar disorder type of mental health issues, but some of the ones anybody can get and have to deal with. Going on a walk in the woods literally fixes, at least on a temporary basis, a lot of those problems. I have never heard somebody say every time I go walk in the woods, my anxiety levels go up, I get more depressed, and I start having PTSD flashbacks. I mean, maybe there's some PTSD exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, yeah, it's good to get out into nature and try to connect any way you can, even if it's just going to a little park in a city, taking your shoes off, walking around in the grass barefoot. Shit matters.
Absolutely.
All right. So we met a long, long time ago. I don't even know precisely when, but it was way a long time ago. It was before you were even Wardrobe Fungi.
Yeah.
It was before you were Wardrobe MycoGeeky. We'll talk about that too.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I remember what your original screen name is I met you on, but it's been quite a while. And So walk everybody through that early journey, how you first decided I want to start growing mushrooms.
Yeah, well, I've kind of lived all over the place. I've moved around a lot. And at one point, I was determined to eat some mushrooms. And I ate them growing up in high school. And I was really a troubled, rebellious middle schooler, high schooler, and grew out of all of that at a really early age. But there have been seasons where psychedelics seemed appropriate to revisit. And I've had some absolutely wonderful experiences in my adult life taking LSD and DMT and mushrooms as well. But anyways, I was just trying to track them down. Couldn't find them. Waited a year. And then I remembered my old roommate's buddy. He brought over like a PF Tech jar one time. And, it was a really sad grow. They grew mushrooms probably this big or something. They just grew it in the jar. They didn't know what they're doing. But anyways, I got a hold of him and he said he was going to help me get started. And he did not help. He just ghosted me. But he told me I could get on Reddit and get spores. And so got on Reddit, ordered some spores from Australia that took like forever to show up. And I mean, you know how all that stuff goes. So eventually what else? I got, I think, substrate from Midwest Grow Kits, and I was just failing over and over and over. And I remember one day I had these jars in my head. They were like months old. I don't know how old they really were. And it was probably 90 degrees in my apartment. And I had this, this substrate that I ordered, and I said, fuck it. I'm just going to go for it. I remember I was dripping, keep on talking about how sweaty I am, but I was like, it was super hot. I was soaked in sweat. I remember it was just a really, really dirty job. And I just went for it. I got some fruit.
Nice.
So yeah. And I don't remember.
You went for it. Yes. That is the moral of the story. Go for it.
Definitely didn't do it properly, but it worked out. And I don't remember all the early days too well. I don't remember how many grows I had early on, but they were all Golden Teacher and B+ and all that stuff. And I got very experimental very early, and that usually didn't work in my favor. But at some point, there's a video on YouTube that I watched. It was either North something or something Spore dropped a video, and it looks like they spray their tub with alcohol. Have you seen? Do you know what video I'm talking about?
Keep talking about it.
Okay.
I mean, I must, but
it is the most viewed mono tub video on YouTube. So, anyways, it really looks like they spray the inside of their tub with alcohol, and I've watched it 100 times because I've talked to them and they tell me that's not the case. So I just felt really gaslit. But anyways,
wait, so they're doing it. What is it? I'll look this up while you're talking.
It looks like in the video that they're spraying the inside of the mono tub with alcohol. Like really,
once they've spawned to bulk?
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure they say it. I don't know. But anyways, that early on, that video really screwed me up and I quit growing.
Okay.
Because, I'm watching this video and they're instructing you to spray it with alcohol, and I did it and then I failed. And so, I just quit growing because I just hit like a block. And then eventually I met Dirty South. I don't know why, but I decided I was going to try again. This was months later. I met him on Reddit. And so he got me back into it. And, that's kind of why he was, I guess, my mentor, because I felt like I was starting fresh again. And of course, he has all the badass genetics. So I was, as we'll see here in a little bit, I was getting everything from Dirty, and he was just teaching me, showing me the way.
If anybody was going to pull you back in.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's funny. I loved the episode you ran more recently, the recording with Dirty. I wasn't even sure if I'd be able to watch it. I thought I was going to get it, too emotional. But man, I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
and he's more poetic than I remember. I really enjoy listening to him talk.
Bro, he's your boy. He's the, like, yes, he resonated with a lot of people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And a number one reason, in my opinion, is you could never call into question his genuine enthusiasm and excitement for fucking with these mushrooms.
Yeah.
You just, every time I talked with him, it did the same thing to me. Like, yeah, I'm going to try this. I mean, he embodied FAFO.
Yeah.
Everything he ever sent me kicked ass. I don't, and I mean,
he made it accessible for everybody.
yeah. And he also didn't, I'm like this as well. If you tell me a secret and tell me, well, that's just for you, don't share that with anybody. That ain't me. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, if you haven't figured it out about me, I don't fucking gatekeep.
Yeah.
You could tell me $1 million idea and I'm gonna tell it to you guys the next day, the next podcast episode. I do not believe that my mental health, your spiritual awakening, all the amazing shit that happens with these mushrooms money is not more important than that. And there's too many people in this world who need this fucking medicine. We're here to help people grow mushrooms. End of story. So I love it, dude. I mean, I don't even know if is that how we became friends, do you think? Or
Probably.
were we like mutual friends with him? And then I can't remember.
Didn't he use your induction coil?
Yeah, he used that. So did you buy that and then we became friends? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was probably following you and then I followed you. I'm not really sure, but
yeah, man, that's how long we've been friends. I can't remember how it started. So
it's been a while.
It's been a minute. And it's been really cool watching you evolve and get into what you get into. And man, you also were very pivotal for me because sometimes it's hard to see your own development, right? Whereas you can track your development through the development of your peers and your friends. And so as you watch other people grow and evolve in different ways, different times, it can like reflect back onto you. And I remember there was one is when Dirty was doing the domes and you started doing the domes and killing it with the domes. And I remember thinking, this is like exactly how this all should be. It should be someone coming up with a good idea, sharing it with everybody, other people trying it and succeeding. And so you were one of the first people off his episode that was like, oh yeah, I'm going to try those things. And yep, they work.
We'll get into that later. I have a couple things to say about the domes.
Cool. We'll get into it. Okay. Maybe I don't need to, I won't overinflate domes, but I personally at the time thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Seeing people run with some of these ideas.
Yeah.
That was earlier on in the podcast. Now, the other thing that I loved, for some reason, it will never not stand out, is the first photo you did on Instagram. And I think this was back when you were Wardrobe Mycology. And it was just how dialed your tiny little setup was. And you had shelves for different things.
Oh, man. Yeah, I should have included that in the...
It was so dialed. I don't know why for me.
And you have like fog rolling out of the tent. Is it that one?
Yeah, I think so. It's not of your tubs, though. It's of like your workspace. I think it was that one. It wasn't the wall of tubs. Yeah, I actually looked for it and couldn't find it, so I thought it just wasn't on the new account. Maybe.
Was it? Well, no, it's the same account. I just changed the name.
Oh.
Is it the?
Maybe it was a story post.
Was it the Martha?
Nope, it was just like it just showed off how you had all your swabs in these bins.
Okay, gotcha. Well, we can even end the show on that note if you want.
Oh, cool. Okay, we'll do that. But I just want to say that for some reason, what that represented for me was like how no matter where you're at, and this is something that I see often, and it never stops being cool. is just seeing the different ways people go all in on this and what it looks like and how their personality is reflected in it, how their seriousness, how their reverence for the practice of cultivating mushrooms becomes, and seeing that just becomes really inspiring.
Sure.
That post was one of those for me. Just seeing that was really cool.
Thank you. The swab, what's a pencil holder that my swabs are in, and my phone right now is, I have sticky tack and I mounted my phone to it. So
Okay.
I can show you at the end, but yeah, that's
Cool,
what
man.
I'm right now.
We'll do that. Cool. So, yeah, so you've been on IG exclusively, right? Like you don't really, I know you're on my Discord, but I feel like you're not really hanging out on Discord too much.
I go through phases of Discord. Man, I just got on Facebook and I have like 100 friend requests, and I feel like they're just all scam accounts or something. I'm not really sure how that works, so I just haven't messed with it. I don't know if they're cool or what. So
you can turn it into a project, or you can do what I do. Anybody then that has less. So now it's different for you because I have a bunch of people I can assess, because I can say, oh, how many mutual friends do we have?
Yeah.
So you can't do that as much. But I can definitely tell you, watch out for new accounts. Watch out for people that if you go to their page, they just have a bunch of spammy shit on it. But if you get it wrong, you're going to find out real fast, because they're going to hop in your DMs immediately and go, yo, hey, what's up? And the minute you get one of them 1-word messages, just block that motherfucker. Just, there's no way that's going to work out. So, hey guys, if you try to friend me and you're a legitimate person and you lead with yo, don't do that. You got.
Well, I usually take the opposite approach and see how much of their time I can waste. So I find it much more satisfying to get them to drop out of the conversation. So.
Yeah, there's that, or the ones that are so not actually in the community. They're like, hey, do you need mushrooms? Like, and if anybody knew me, they'd know that's the dumbest question to ask me.
Sure. Yeah.
So I love messing with those people. Oh, you have mushrooms? Oh, cool. What kind? Oh, how much? And then once I have them explain all about the mushrooms they're trying to sell, then I just report them to Facebook. So all you little scammer motherfuckers watching this episode, don't fuck with me. I will report your ass. Leave me be. Don't bug me. And don't bug Wardrobe Mycology, because he's new to Facebook. Yeah, it's hard if you're new. Some people won't even friend you until you can't join certain groups until you've been on it for a while. So it's kind of a process.
Yeah, my name, I think, is Multispore. So if anyone wants to connect, you probably never hear from me, but
we will put all of that in the description. Definitely, send a message. Yeah, it's hard to figure in the beginning, man. I just said yes to everybody, and then if they annoyed me, I had to go through the process of blocking them. Yeah, but that's probably 1 out of 20. So it's work, but it's not that bad. Baroness like, yo baby, what's up? Got cubes, DMT, LSD, fake cards. Oh man, what gets me is that shit apparently works on people. Like, I don't know who it works on, but it's got to work on somebody.
I guess it's worth their time to keep doing it.
It's like slot machine. They hit just enough that it just keeps them there.
Sure.
They'll try and.
Yeah.
So no, it makes sense that you would love Instagram. You're creative. You're an artist. It's a visual platform for sure. When you first joined and you were getting into mushrooms, what was that experience like, seeing so many amazing grows, seeing, packed tubs, seeing amazing dazzling fruit? I feel like I can go out on a limb here and say that you were definitely entranced.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was maybe a bit mystified by the whole thing. Do you remember Home Mycology?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to watch his YouTube videos, and he was just so entertaining.
Oh yeah.
Like those things were so interesting. They're probably still up, I don't know. But he was a big one for me too. We've never connected, but I liked his content. But yeah, who I don't know, fungal dominance who actually just reposted, your post for this today.
Uh-huh.
He was a big one for me because I was also growing iceberg, and that's his jam. He has like some of the best iceberg grows out there, and
Oh yeah.
he's doing the big mono tubs, getting them packed full with like 1 or 200 gram fruits or whatever, and then they have the split caps, and that was kind of an epic, like, really cool approach to me. So I like full flushes. Phenos are nice
yeah.
too. I like hunting phenos, but man, it's so satisfying opening a bag, tub, whatever, and just seeing a packed house.
Well, see, this is the artist in you, because all real artists know they have to they got to paint the canvas.
Yeah, absolutely.
They
man.
got to cover the canvas. So you see that tub, if it's not packed, you're just like, I
Yeah,
missed a spot. Yes.
exactly.
Yes, for sure. So I really felt that way too. I could not stay on Reddit for any length of time. It got real weird real fast for me. I felt like it was a bunch of teenage boys who were just buying spore swabs to hide in their closet. A lot of opinions, not a lot of facts, not a lot of substance. I had to get off that. I couldn't do the shroomery for the reasons everybody can't do the shroomery, but which
Funny,
is
man,
too bad.
I never did the shroomery.
Wow.
Yeah,
I love that. You're the first person to just say, I just didn't even do it.
I don't
That's
know.
great.
Like I mean, I've been on there. It's kind of an overwhelming amount of threads and whatnot.
Yeah.
But no, I've never done much with that at all. I don't know that I've ever posted on there or asked any questions.
And you didn't suffer one bit.
And then Reddit, man, I just appreciate it for the chaos. It's funny. It's really funny. Someone will ask like, "Is this contaminated?" And it's like a cloud of green spores in front of their face or something.
I mean, does anything else get asked on Reddit? I feel like that is
Yeah.
the overwhelming theme of Reddit, is just, is this contaminated?
Yeah.
And then 400 people giving their opinion.
Yeah, right. And then, man, I still wonder sometimes. I'm like, what the hell's going on with this plate? So when in doubt, I mean, of course you can try cleaning it up, but send it, see what happens, whatever. You just gotta keep the FAFO going.
Because you don't ever know.
Yeah,
You don't ever know. Sometimes, I mean, I got plates. I'm sure I threw away plates that were like the best thing I could have ever grown. And I ran some of the worst things that I should have thrown away. But you don't know if you don't fuck around and give it a try.
Yeah, when your variables are microscopic, it's a different
Yeah.
game.
Exactly. The other thing that happened, I got back from MycoFest, and of course, classic me, I got to start scanning the yard for mushrooms. And because it had rained at MycoFest, so I assumed it had rained at my house. And all I found was on the side of the property by the ravine, there was a massive flush of Old Man of the Woods, huge Old Man of the Woods, bigger than I'd gotten them in my front yard every year for the last several years, but smaller, like about, caps like about that big around. And these were like that big around. And I was like, what the fuck is this all about? And it's not where I usually find them. And I was like, oh, it's been drier this year. So normal years, when it's wetter, the front yard is where I'm getting my Old Man of the Woods, and the little ravine area is too wet. It's like too soggy. I can't even go down there and mow. Most years I can't even go down there and mow the lawn unless I'm real careful, because it's all clay and everything. And I was like, what happened is it's too dry for them in the front yard, but it's now just the right amount of moisture in the ravine to the point where they just flushed hard. But then I was thinking, this is, speaking of fungal dominance, this is what's going on with these mycelial wars underground all the time.
Yeah.
Right? They're always trying to figure out where to be. If every year they can be in the same spot, they'll keep doing that. But if they lose a war somewhere, then they're probably retreating and trying to find somewhere else to grow. So I think that I just love thinking way about mycelium, way beyond my tub, and that was where my mind took me today.
Yeah, it's another world.
Cool. It's very just that network, just to think about that is a very postmodern. That's how my brain works. So I like thinking about that stuff. All right, so let's do this. Let's talk about you. Once you started having things work out, what techs were you using? And then let's kind of evolve through. Do you like this line of thinking? Do you want to do?
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I think that would be good to talk about techs you used in the beginning, techs you've let go of, techs you've tried and liked but didn't stay with. Just sort of walk us through your evolution as a grower, because I feel like you're pretty dialed now.
Dude, I wish I had a photo of this. Yeah, early on, I told you I was doing a lot of experimenting, and I was just like really fucked up about contamination, as you know, a lot of people probably experience that at some stage. But I went to Home Depot, or maybe I bought it from Amazon, and I got these big plastic sheets, clear plastic, and I got PVC pipe, and I made like this crazy pop-up sterile booth that I could hang from a rafter in my ceiling.
Okay.
And then, like, you know, I would just spray a bunch of alcohol in there and then just like suffocate myself with alcohol, I guess. And it was like some mad scientist stuff that was completely unnecessary. But you know, it's probably different now than it was 3 years ago. Like, there wasn't centralized resources, you know, not that long ago.
Yeah.
And I don't know what people do now because I'm not looking, but you really just had to fucking figure it out, like however you could.
Yeah, and we didn't even have it as bad as like the real OGs.
Yeah,
like Dennis McKenna talking about, well, we brought these spores back and we just had to start reading a bunch of science papers about how scientists grew mushrooms in general, and that's how they just got lucky. The cubes were somewhat easy to grow. But yeah, man, the fuck around and figure it out in the beginning looks way different now. Now it looks like you can kill it out of the gate if you're willing to listen to somebody.
Sure. So, you know, maybe needless to say, I've gotten really, really simple over time, and I'm an absolute minimalist with all this stuff. But yeah, I was doing, you know, just mono tubs and like spray painting the bottom and just doing all this stuff that they tell you to do on YouTube or Reddit. And I've done all the bad ideas. I don't know how long that went on for. I probably saw Dirty getting into bags, I would imagine. And that's when I started doing bags. Now everything I do is in a bag, absolutely everything. But yeah, when we talk about, we'll look at the dome videos later, and I'll talk about the domes a little bit too. But yeah, bags are simple. I like it.
I mean, now you were saying early on you were battling contam. So one thing I tell people that if they get to a point where it seems like they're fighting a losing battle, I usually ask them how old their house is, and they'll say it's like 1921, and I'll be like, okay, you are not going to win that fight unless you're willing to do some major home renovations. So with that said, time to move to bags. Maybe time to buy like a HEPA purifier for the room. Like the bags will solve a lot of your problems.
I just thought I was fighting contam. I don't think I even was. You know, my plates would look weird, and I'd be like, what the hell is this? And just freak out.
I see.
Just never run it. And, you know, it's completely in my head.
Yep. You just never know. You don't know. This is why it's like in the beginning, I don't know how you were. I guess you were maybe not quite as bad. I waited for maybe 2 months. So when I went down the rabbit hole, if I'm gonna grow mushrooms, I just started watching everything, reading everything.
Yeah.
And I definitely had a bit of hesitation, not because I was afraid to grow mushrooms for the legality or anything, but I just wanted to like knock it out of the park. And when I finally got going and it wasn't great, and I'm like, fuck. And then that's when somebody told me about a video for a positive pressure bag. I made that. And then I started buying my agar from tip of the cap, and I started making some halfway decent decisions, getting some decent grows, and had a small group of friends I traded cultures with, who always had tips and tricks and stuff like that. Was helpful. But I'm telling you, it was Samantha Bradshaw on Facebook. She was the first person to just be like, here's what really fucking matters. Here's what doesn't really matter. And she is who made things just click for me. And that was huge, man. That was crucial. So however that happens for people, it's really important to get that moment of getting it, figuring it out. And like you said,
I'm sure you'll appreciate this. I also, from time to time, would do low effort, high reward grows just to keep my confidence up. And, maybe I still do that sometimes. You gotta believe in yourself, and there are practical things you can do to continue. At least I need that help.
Right. Yeah.
So anyways.
Yeah. And I mean, and everyone's different, right? In the beginning, probably the best approach is to be beyond sterile. You do all the things. You take the shower, wash your hair, scrub your hands, put on clean clothes, wear a mask, put your hair in a hairnet if you got a lot of hair, do all the stuff, spray everything down, and get a grow and do all the things right.
Yeah.
And then if that doesn't work, you've at least controlled so many variables, you can more easily figure out what you did wrong.
Yeah.
If you don't take a shower, if you're filthy, if you itch your balls, if you pick your nose, if you blow your nose, if you sneeze, cough, breathe, and just don't give an absolute fuck and wonder why your shit's contaminated, no one's going to be able to help you till you start eliminating some of those variables.
Sure.
And then, then I don't know if you're like this, but then you realize you want to figure out what you can get away with. I pour plates barehanded. Sorry for those people that drives crazy. Ed Grand definitely hates hearing about it. And I get it. I get why. But for me, every 300 plates, maybe one plate will be contaminated. So for me, the improved dexterity, it's worth it for me. I would rather just pour barehanded.
If it works, it works, man. It's such a personal, again, just a relationship to your process and your environment, and it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to work.
Exactly. And what is your level of comfort as far as like contam rates go? Some people are cool with losing a tub, 1 out of 5 tubs. Some people get mad if they lose 1 out of 30 tubs. So,
man, most of my contamination is on my agar. Sometimes my bags, my spawn bags, my fruiting bags, not so much.
Yeah.
I don't know how many bags. Well, I do know how many, less than 40 bags going, and maybe 1 or 2 are contaminated, and I'm just letting them ride because, it's a new variety for me, and I want to get spores from it. So,
and you might get some cooler spores from it too, because you did that. You never know.
But with that being said, man, I'm very familiar with trike. At one point I stopped pasteurizing and sterilizing my cocoa coir. Oh my God, that's the dumbest thing I've ever done as a grower. And I don't know if that works for some people. I've heard that it does, but I was like 0 for who knows how many on that. That was a really
I have heard people say it works, but what I think they mean to say is it worked once. Like they got a bag to come through. But I'm with you.
I don't want to knock anyone's text here. I'm just saying my personal experience was detrimental. It was really bad.
And it's also fair to say what is most likely for most people, right? It's fair to say for most people, it probably wouldn't work to do that.
I wish it worked.
Yeah. Somebody lives somewhere where it works, and you're a lucky person. You're saving yourself.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it's the brand of coir they're buying, or I have no idea. But anyway.
Yeah, I'm not. I want to make this as enjoyable as possible, and I don't enjoy
Yes.
Like I want it as simple as I can. What I know for a fact is if I change my pre-filter on my flow hood every 3 months and I keep my space relatively clean and I spray down my work surface and I work tight to my flow hood, I don't have any problems.
Yeah.
I really don't. And I sterilize my sub now. Yes, for all those who say they pasteurize and they don't have any problems, I did pretty well most of the time, but I was striving for perfection. I wanted every bag I went through the trouble of making to work for me. And so for me, it was worth the extra time to start sterilizing my substrate.
Yeah, well, I took that idea from you because I was doing an oven tech for a long time. And I don't know that that was a problem, but something was a problem. And so, I was dealing with contamination. But not only that, the bags would melt. I'd always have 1 or 2 melted bags. So, those 2 things alone were enough for me to say, okay, I'm just going to start sterilizing. So, and it's not that much more work to sterilize it.
For me, it's not that bad. It doesn't bother me at all.
Anyways, you mentioned it to me 2 or 3 times, and I finally started doing it.
And I finally pressured you into it.
Yeah, I just needed time.
Yeah, the melting bags thing, and every once in a while I still have this problem. It's always because you're ramping the temperature up too fast. But of course you want to do that because you got to look at the size of your burner too. If you turn your burner on a higher setting and the flames are towards the edge, it will make the exterior of your pressure canner pot hotter than it should be.
I'm talking about an oven tech, so I used a baking sheet.
You're not even talking about pressure cooking. You're talking
No,
yeah, dude. That
sterilized in the pressure cooker, but I pasteurized in the oven.
Oh, right.
And so that's something that.
And you were burning your bags. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's something that Dirty got me into. And then when I asked him about it, he's like, "Man, you're still doing that?" He's
bro, I remember that, and I remember thinking, "Yeah, sorry, dude, I'm not doing that one."
But no, it worked for a couple of years.
You mean, look, my boy Microdex still uses oven tech for like the laminar flow off the oven very well. It works. Whatever you do, it don't matter if it works.
Yep.
Yes, and that's what's cool. All right, so where are you at right now? So you sterilize your sub, you grow in bags. What's your grain of choice?
Wild bird seed. Get 20 pounds for $8 locally. Yep. So also buy my coconut coir locally. I don't even know. It costs next to nothing. I get the big bricks. I don't know what those weigh, but I pay $10.
Dang, you get a 10-pound brick for $10? That's a great deal.
If they're 10 pounds, I don't know. The big bricks.
Yeah, I think they're like 10. I mean,
yeah, they're probably
the bricks about that big. Yeah, I think they're about 10
maybe
pounds.
They're 5 kilos or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, 10 pounds.
Yeah, I never sweat any of that. Even when I buy expensive Jiffy popcorn, I'm just growing for myself. So it's not that much money. I get that people that are growing way more have to be more savvy. But birdseed, dude, do you do no soak, no simmer, or do you do old fashioned way?
That's a good question. What is his name? Noller.
Jesse Noller.
Jesse Noller. Yeah, he did it with, was it millet?
Yeah, he did millet. Yeah, I think it was like 1,000 grams millet, 500 ml water or something was his no soak.
I use the 4 tea bags, and then I use it doesn't matter how much you put in there. I use 720 grams of wild bird seed, and then 360 grams water.
Okay.
So, if you want to use 1,000 or 700 or whatever, so it's just 1 to 2. But I've been doing that for a long time, and I love it.
No soak, no simmer, wild bird seed. All right, I'm gonna try that. What were those numbers again?
It's just 1 to 2. So I use
1 to 2. Okay.
Yeah, so I do 720 grams of wild bird seed, and then 360 grams of water. And then as the bags are cooling, say you pull it off the the burner at night, the next morning you want to break it up.
Okay. Yeah.
So break and shake or whatever, or else they're all caked. So
that's interesting. You don't even shake them right after, because when I do my no soaks, no simmers, I got to pretty much depressurize and get in there right away to shake them. So you can let it sit overnight.
Yeah, at least. Yeah. Sometimes they sit for quite a while.
Bro, okay. I'm doing it tomorrow. That's my experiment. All right. Would you say 760, 720, 360? We're doing it. Geeky's doing it tomorrow.
Again, just the simple, cheap, low effort methods. That's all I'm really doing.
Now, I don't know if you have a rule of thumb for this. You probably have used the same brand for a long time, but someone told me, I forget if it was Chris Black or if DC Mac mentioned this, but they're like, if you're going to run wild birdseed, make sure the first two ingredients are millet and milo. It can be millet and milo. It can be milo and millet, but just make sure that the first two ingredients are those two. And if you do that, it's going to work out well for you.
So I will say the brand that I use has less sunflower seed than other brands, but there's still a lot of sunflower seeds.
Yeah. So do you take them out, or do you just don't give a shit?
I just roll with it.
I like it. I wonder where that came from. I wonder where the getting rid of the bird seeds came from.
I don't know
if they thought somebody thought it was a vector. Maybe they started taking them out and then they were getting slightly less contam, so they thought, cool.
Well, let's see. Yeah, so what I heard is that it's like airtight, and so it's not gonna sterilize for as long as everything else in the sterilizer. I don't know if that's really true, but it's never been a problem.
And you cook for 3 hours? How long you cook for?
2.5. But the common sense thing here is, if your wild bird seed is all sunflower seeds, then it's probably not going to be as good. So you know what I mean? It's just less actual surface to colonize, right?
Right.
Assuming, I don't even know, maybe sunflower seeds are fine.
No, those black sunflower seeds, I mean, they got a hell of a haul on them for sure. I don't, I have to assume that's just one of those lures that's been around for so long that for a while I love dispelling. And then the longer I grow, the more I'm like, oh, now I know why they say that. Yes, that is probably true. Might not be for the reasons we think, but yeah, who knows? But I'll try it, and I won't even take the wild bird seeds out. Well,
there you go.
See how it goes. It's been working for you. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, again, it's one particular brand that I buy, but go for it.
All right, don't jinx me, dude. Don't jinx me.
It's dirty as well.
There you go. Man, I tell you what, the ones that were the hardest for me was whole oats before I bought the triple wash. Then somebody said get the triple washed, and things improved quite a bit. I will say overall oats are always the dirtiest for me.
Yeah, dude, I don't think I ever really went through a grain dating phase like some people do. I don't know.
Oh, you called it a grain dating phase. Wow, some of us really do just love to date grain, don't we? Holy shit, you are right.
Yeah, I haven't done that, man. I don't think I've ever ran oats.
What?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff I've never ran. I just like what I have. So.
Right. I love it, man. Happy runs wild bird seed. He won't. It doesn't matter how much I try to talk him into something else. He ain't gonna change it either.
Smart guy.
Yeah. Again, like you said, if it's working, don't try to fix it. It's all good. Yeah. All right. So bags, wild bird seed. You were saying you feel like if you deal with contam, you see it more on your plates, or maybe in your spawn bags. But by the time you get to spawn into bulk, you feel like you're good.
God, most of the time. I mean, you ask me in a month and I'll tell you something completely different, but lately it's been great. It's been wonderful. So I also run a lot of T0 plates. So I I do, I'll make 3, 4, 5. What I drag the top, I like cut off the top of the swab with a scalpel, drag it, whatever. And I just look for the pretty ones, or I cut out the pretty sections. But another thing I do is I very often let the caps sit in front of the flow hood for a little bit before I swab, so they're dropping some spores. And I think that helps quite a bit. I think that helps significantly. So like if I'm going to collect spores from a bag, I'm not going to fuck with that bag. I'm just going to leave it alone for a little bit, and then open it up in the lab where I am right now. But yeah, I'm certainly not a super. I try to keep things really, really clean where they need to be, and everything else is just a nasty apartment.
Right.
Sorry, I shouldn't say nasty. I should give myself some credit. I'm just a normal person living in.
But not lab grade sterility. Yeah.
Far from it. Very, very far from it.
Yeah. I'm where I'm sitting right now, just over there. If my wife is working, she works in a downstairs bedroom behind me, behind the camera here. So my golden retriever will come down here. Our little dachshund can't walk down the stairs, but the golden retriever can.
Oh God.
Just sheds everywhere, walks in the lab, all that stuff. I got a back door that goes to my backyard in the basement. Kids going in and out of that all the time. So like there's no such thing as, I do not have the fourth wall up yet. I'm working on it. Hopefully before winter I can get it up. But yeah, still works out. I still have my contam rate is like under 1% most of the time, so I can't complain. Gotta figure out how to make it work. I truly believe sterilizing the substrate is a pro move, and then as you get better at identifying what a contaminated jar of spawn looks like, that also helps. If you know you're running a really healthy jar of spawn in a sterilized bag of sub, no, you fuck it up at that point.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, so let's do okay, any other tech? So we haven't quite gotten into the story of the domes, but I feel like we can do that in the photos.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe things will come up as I'm talking, but again, it's all cheap and simple. I run basic MEA agar with nutritional yeast. I run on my substrate is straight core. I'm usually in the summer, I usually cut my bags. I'll cut slits in them. But in the winter, not so much, just different needs, different seasons.
Boy, oh boy. I know we're both Midwest. We're definitely different regions of the Midwest, but man, my winter grow versus my summer grow, it's like a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
It really is. It takes a while to dial in for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do this. Let's look at some of these photos.
Cool.
Right. Let's start.
By the way, I can't see anything. I don't see the chat, and that's okay. I'm just letting you all know that whatever's in the chat, I won't see it.
Everybody's been asking you a million personal questions in the chat. You've just missed it all. No, I'm kidding. You're good.
Is anyone watching?
Oh yeah, a bunch of people are watching.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Lots of people. Nope, it's just, this is what I try to tell everybody who gets nervous though. I just tell them, nope, it's just you and me talking. Don't even worry about it. All right, so let's start with some Dirty South genetics. Talk me through it. And then you tell me when you want to change the slide.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I mentioned 𝐿_mycology earlier. I should reach out to him sometime. But anyways, in one of his videos a few years ago, he had Tat Smurf. And that was the first time I'd ever heard of Smurf. And it just kind of blew my mind. So Dirty just happened to have it. Must have been around the time I met him. So he, sent me some Tat Smurf, and it was the first pheno that I kind of oohed and awed over. I was mesmerized. So there it is.
That doesn't surprise me. That came from Dirty South right there.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me.
And then he was getting it from the mushy underground.
Okay.
So I don't know the history of. I guess no one knows the history, but it comes from mushy underground, and it's very kind of muddy. But I know it's not officially accepted as like a tat genetic for some reason.
Oh, I did not know that.
It's not in the family tree, but it's supposedly tat, and it's been around for a long time. But no one knows where it came from, supposedly.
It came from the Smurfs wardrobe.
Yeah,
Where it came
that
from.
makes sense.
Papa Smurf. He invented it.
You can keep moving, yeah. Here's my ghost. Okay, so all of these first photos are from genetics from Dirty. So this was his ghost culture, which was on his website. So I was kind of honored to have my photo up on his website. They were really, really hard hitters.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, that is a really nice tub of ghost.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it looks like a bag.
Figure of speech, but yeah, that is a nice container of ghost.
Thank you.
Yeah, looking real good. You got a couple big chonkers to the lower right there.
Second flush.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, man, Ghost. I love Ghost. It is not an easy grow. I never got any from Dirty South. I have had better success with. I really think the isolation matters. But man, these look good. So this is an older grow.
Oh, we're going back probably 3 years, if not more. I don't know. I mean, it's all on my Instagram, roughly 3 years. Okay. You can go to the next one if you want. Yeah, I just thought this was a funny picture. I don't know how this happened, but that's a Gandalf fruit that just really, really liked the substrate, I guess.
Not gonna let go.
Not gonna.
I mean, that's like a 3.5 pound brick.
Yeah, that's not a thin cake either.
No.
And man, I let that thing sit for so long, and it just never softened. I don't remember what it did. It was just like a tree. And so eventually I harvested it, but it never got soft.
That's a great photo, dude. I love that.
Yeah, thanks. So another Gandalf. I really liked these Gandalf grows. This one dried. This bag produced 3.6 ounces dry from one flush.
Nice. That is nice.
And it's never happened again since. But yeah, that's probably by far the biggest harvest I ever got out of any mushrooms. But it took a long time. They were slow.
So what I'm trying to see here is, did you cut the bag and let them keep growing? Or just when you cut the bag off, did they just sort of lean to the side?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
Because I'm like, look at that. Half your weight, like a third of your weight, doesn't even look like it's within the line of where the bag would be.
Yeah, I don't know what I was doing there. Maybe we might see it in another photo or something.
That's a lot of weight. Oh, there's another cool photo. Yeah, look at that thing.
So let's see. Yeah, it looks like they were just, I don't know, man. It might have came out of the Martha. Maybe I was putting it in the Martha with the top.
Yeah, in my brain, I'm like, how did this happen? It's impressive. Sure. That one fruit, it looks like a frickin' header for a engine.
It's insane. This is the same clone culture that we were just looking at.
The next grow, yeah.
I have no idea how that happens, but
I do not.
And I didn't. Yeah, I mean, it must have been something environmental, but anyways, yeah.
I bet those work too, and they dry nice.
Yeah, they were pretty. I couldn't do anything with them, but pretty crazy range from one culture. Yeah. Lang albino super squats or lass, just some pretty mushrooms. I think I took these back. No, I took these back to spore, and they reverted to, just a silly looking albino with purple spores. It was very disappointing. So I don't know what's.
Yeah, those look cool. You sent me this one, and I tried growing it, and I also had problems. I can't recall what happened, but I did not get these pretty little balls. That's for sure.
And wasn't that what, Seven Delgado? Was that his name?
That is one of his. Yeah. If I'm remembering correctly.
And this is Stacks, one of Dirty's.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
This came out pretty nice.
Yeah,
How does that humidity dome grow?
All right. Look at those gills and the way they attach to the stipe.
Yeah.
That is completely unusual.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm sure right in front of me right now, I probably have swabs from those fruits that I still need to run.
Nice. All right, so let's go to this set.
Yeah, so again, when I kind of first got started, I was running everything from Dirty because he wasn't really charging me. What's up, Johnny? Thank you for being here. Okay, so then I saw Miss Myco-Geeky, her iceberg, and I don't know how many times I've grown iceberg. I absolutely loved it. This probably isn't the most exciting expression I got from it because it's so unpredictable, but it's not a bad photo anyway.
Yeah, they're pretty. They're smooth.
Yeah, I like the smoothness. So here is the iconic wardrobe that now it's full of Gymnopolis mushrooms. But I've done 100 different things in here, and it never really makes sense. Like, it's just not a good space to grow mushrooms in. But I think I just like the challenge of trying to figure out in different orientations. The Christmas lights are cool, though. I should put Christmas.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you don't even need a Christmas tree. You just
right.
Just put a couple ornaments on the shelves, and you're good.
Yeah. DC Mac from P-Funk. I had a lot of fun with that one. We'll see a video probably here in a second, right, of the humidity dome grow with the DC Mac. So.
Oh yeah, I gotta see. Hold on, let me look at that. I tried to load that up. I might have to play it a different way, but yeah.
If it doesn't work, it's not a big deal.
Let me see if I can. Do you want to do that next? Let me see if I
Sure.
can figure it out. Here we go. All right, so we're gonna have to do it a little bit different. I'm gonna pull this off. We're gonna do a share screen by window. Here we go. All right, you ready? Let's play it.
Let's do it.
Boy.
So
from every angle, dude.
Yeah.
It don't matter. That is looking good.
That's when, not that I really don't have a whole lot of followers on Instagram, but that was definitely like the wave of followers that came in once I had that grow. I think, yeah, I just met a lot of people, I guess, through people watching that video and all that. But yeah, the humidity domes, Dirty definitely did it better and smarter than me. I was very careful to not actually recommend this to anybody because I was just fucking around, and it looks good on Instagram, right? And
it does.
That's big to me. I just want it to look good. I want to make nice videos. So that was reason enough for me to spend probably a couple of years off and on playing with it. Even recently I've done it, but anyways, the ones that I had, they suck. They're absolutely terrible. And I never figured it out. I even drilled holes in them to get more air flowing, and I'm sure there are ways to do it, but again, I try to be pretty minimalistic, and I never ever found a good flow with all of that.
I did not know that. I mean, I know he moved back to bags, so I assume that, I mean, just like everybody, bags just work to just make your life easier. You're never going to have the problem of them drying out too soon. Worst case scenario, it just takes a lot longer. Yeah. But I tell you what, that 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞 line, right? 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐿, and like maybe 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞 95. If you've never run those, and I'm sure Wardrobe will concur, that's a special line of genetics that everybody should grow that once. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I got some right here. I'm not going to show it, but yeah, P-Funk hooked me up with those.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. That isolation does a lot of interesting things. Off the same clone culture, you can be just growing straight up chonkers all day, every day. And then all of a sudden they'll just squat out. And then all of a sudden they'll do this. And all of a sudden they'll do that. But you'll never be disappointed. It's definitely worth running. But I get surprised how many people say, oh, I never ran 𝐷𝐶 anything. Bro, just run it once.
Yeah, it's a nice classic look too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like it.
All right, let's go back to some photos. All right, so those are now, are those OGs? Are those 95s? Do you remember what isolation those are?
Let's see. I think those are OG.
OG. Yep. If you're going to start anywhere, I mean, all the other 𝐷𝐶 line came from OG. So if you get your hands on OG, you can just play around, and eventually you'll probably get all the other ones because they all came from there.
What's this? Choco Rojo Anemone, which we'll talk about more later. But if you see right in the middle of those speckled gills, the spores were germinating on the gills. These are
what?
Yeah, they did it all the time. These are crazy mushrooms.
Wow.
Bro,
do you have some of this? I gotta grow this. This is too cool.
I'm sure. Yeah. God, I hope so.
If you only have one set, just say no and then DM me later. I don't want to disappoint anybody.
Look right here.
There we go. Love it. Love it. Love
Hopefully I have more than one, but we'll figure it out.
Okay. I definitely have something for you, so don't you worry. Yeah, these look marvelous, and I just want to grow them just to watch the spores germinate on the gills.
Yeah, pretty bizarre.
That's crazy.
I don't know what all is in here. I just thought it was I guess it's kind of blurry, but I thought it was a fun photo. Yeah, who knows what the hell all that is.
You got a lot of mushrooms in there.
That CRA is right in the middle, so I really just wanted to show that again. You know, it's kind of a really, really crazy variety to work with.
Dude. Yeah, those gills are something else.
Yeah. Okay, now we're looking at Super Ape, another favorite of mine. There's a reason these two are back to back, which we'll get to later. This came from Mr. Poopy Substrates. I don't remember who actually sent me the culture, but it's his cultigen. I love these things, man. They really, really came out looking nice, but I could never keep the culture clean. I was just always fumbling and struggling with it. So, I gave it up, and I guess, I ended up, I wanted to keep it alive. So I crossed it with the CRA, which, we'll see in just a little bit, but let's look at some more photos of these guys.
So those are Super Ape.
These are Super Ape. Yeah.
Okay.
More Super Ape. That's actually Louis Vuitton. I don't even know why I threw this in here. It's one of the projects I'm working on, an albino Louis Vuitton. I know it's already been done, but I just had fun snagging an albino and trying to stabilize it. So,
but see, it's good you said that. Just because it's been done doesn't mean that the albino that you get is exactly the same as a different albino.
Sure.
It could be different. It is worth working if you want to work it.
Sure, that's fair. Choco Tad, another favorite of mine, man. So this comes from Dave Wombat. I lost my culture, even sent it off to I sent some swabs off to Psychonaut Marine, see if he could help me get them germinated. I think they were sterile because I had a lot of swabs and none of them ever germinated. So
now, did you look at a piece of gill and make sure there were spores there?
Dude, these things are
loaded with spores.
They are completely loaded with spores. They are very they don't release the spores, but they are absolutely covered.
Weird. So neither one of you guys could get them germinating.
No, and I tried so many times over the course of probably a year, but I just got a culture the other day, so I put it on grain, I think 2 days ago, and I'm happy to have that to work again.
All right. Well, I believed you, Wardrobe, but just for confirmation, yes, Psychonaut Marine agrees. Sterile for sure.
Thank you, Psychonaut.
That's weird that they actually make a spore that doesn't work. Okay.
I can't think of any other explanation, man.
Weird.
I'm telling you, I've never sent out something for someone else to germinate. Like,
you're just like, please help me.
I was desperate.
Crazy. Did you guys ever try hydrating them in some sterile water for a while? Like letting them sit in a bath and then take that out and put it on a plate, like for 24 hours or?
No, I still have, I think, one swab. So who knows what I'll do? I'll probably just throw it in the dirt outside and it'll grow mushrooms. Who knows?
Weird. That's crazy. I mean, who knows? But you were trying to work them right away, right?
I mean, I've done everything. Like
you did them right away. You did them later. Yeah.
Months later. Yeah, I found one in an envelope I found a set in an envelope not too long ago that I guess I was going to mail out to someone and never did. And it's finding buried treasure.
I mean, it's mushrooms. Anything's possible, right?
Not with these guys, but yeah.
Well, anything but the thing you want to do. Yeah. And then my buddy Baron just says, I got a sterile pan cyan right now. So, yeah. Okay. It's a thing. I'd never encountered it, but I guess I figured if the basidia were going to make a spore, especially if the gills get really dark and they look legit, they would germinate, but who knows?
Yeah, who knows? More Choco Tat. They have pretty color. I love the contrast between the gills and the stipe. And of course they have that kind of a chocolatey cap as well. So they're pretty to look at for sure.
They are, and I like a lot of these have like a nice wrinkle to them that I haven't always seen. That looks really cool.
Yeah, that's also why I'm disappointed I lost that culture. It's a really nice culture. So we'll see what happens with this other one.
I know. What's this?
It's a wild clone. I found a lion's mane in the woods and
cool.
Was able to get it to fruit back in the lab. So that was fun. Pretty vigorous.
Yeah, that's a nice flush. What is that, like a 3-pound block?
Probably right at 3 pounds.
Yeah, that's quite a flush, man. That's solid.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're I think we're up to some current projects.
Yeah, so that last section was just, I started off looking at Dirty's genetics, and then it's just other things I've done here and there over the years. Not necessarily my best grows, but some things worth highlighting. And then we're going to lead into the more personal projects.
All right, here we go. Personal projects.
So
now you're getting me excited already.
Yeah, man. So where I live, there is a well-known mycology book from my state, and big laughing gems are listed in there as poisonous.
Okay.
And I've had the book for well over a decade, and it's just so disappointing that this misinformation is out there, because sure, in some areas they might be non-active or toxic or something, but that's not the case where I live. And I know the person that wrote this book, and they're not very open to, they don't seem very open to what's actually out there, if that makes sense. It's
They
just
just don't. They just what was Al Pacino say? That you can't handle the truth.
yeah,
They're not ready.
exactly. They're threatened.
Yeah.
They seem threatened by they're actually being psychedelic mushrooms in Missouri, which aren't listed in this book. And I'm just thinking, man, had I known this in my younger days, my God, like that would have been so empowering. But there are people actively providing misinformation.
Actively want to misinform. Yes. Yep.
So with that being said, this is, I don't know how other people pronounce this, but Gymnopolis subspectabilis is what I usually say. And this was just a small portion of that fruiting body. It was a gigantic cluster. It was huge, and they were, pretty mature, but that was the most exciting find I've ever had in my life. And it was smack dab right in the middle of a big city, which is kind of crazy.
Wow.
Like only feet away from a trail that has traffic. It's like an urban trail, but right in the middle of the city. But yeah, those are some big laughing gems, and you can even see in the bottom fruit there that it's bruised blue or green. So yeah, they're spicy.
So now, how long ago was that you found those subspectabilis?
So good question. That is October of 22. And then if we go to the next photo here, I go back and I monitor the area. So this last fall in 23, I actually put out some slug killer or something like slug traps. And I got much prettier fruit this past year. So these are the pins in that same location. Can keep going here.
Oh,
getting a little bigger. And we were getting frost, so I actually had to harvest them early last year because they stopped growing.
Oh.
But
so this was in late fall, mid-fall?
Mid-October, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. That one came up earlier, but that was the same location. Real pretty fruits. Yeah, and those were some that I brought home. I mean, they're like perfect specimens, Yeah. So that was really exciting to have put in the time and effort to get some beautiful specimens like that. Well, I'm still waiting to hear back on what exactly this is, but I think it's Gymnopolis fulvosquamulosus, which I'm told is an active species. I would assume it's pretty mild. I don't really know, but eventually I will know once it's coated.
Nice.
Same fruits.
Yeah, man. The gems definitely have a look.
Yeah.
I just found luteus, Gymnopilus luteus, and that picture you're showing me there. Here, let me pull it up real quick. Is very reminiscent of. There we go. So yeah, that's luteus. Couple pictures of that.
Wow.
Compare that with, right? Oh, we lost your others. Hold on. See that there's definitely there's an orange that is very orangey yellow that really has a vibe, and also just the whole morphology has a general vibe. But they're really fun. They're a pretty mushroom to see in the wild for sure.
Very pretty, very meaty too. We can keep going here.
All right. Oh yeah. See, that's that look right there.
So this was another one of my absolute favorite finds. These are luteofolius, and I am very determined to get these to fruit in a bag. Haven't done it yet. You know, I like to get them out into the world for other people to try as well. I think I have plenty of spores from these, but yeah, I really want to figure out these gems and get a simple tech going for people. So, you know, it's happening with pans, and I know these probably aren't quite as exciting for a lot of people, but they are to me. And again, they're just so pretty. So they're fun to work with.
Yeah, man, they're really pretty. When Salty Unicorn had that bag grow, that was all it took for me. I was like,
Yeah,
okay, I gotta grow these. These are too cool.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. He reached out to me on Discord at some point, and then I guess we had some back and forth, and then I got back to him like months later, and he was like, yo, no, I was like, yo, whatever happened with those gems? And then he went and checked, and he had a pin, and it was his first pin of those gems. He's like, holy shit, you just made my day. So
that's funny.
He and I have talked, you know, it seems like every day since. We talk quite a bit.
He's a cool guy. I've been trading and conversing with him for quite a while. He's another one of my favorites for sure. And yeah, for whatever reason, I've been wanting to grow other stuff. I tried to grow these scaly ink caps. Holy cow. You should see what they're doing in the bag. I'll have to go grab it, but
oh, that's interesting.
Colonized the substrate completely, and then I didn't even have time. I think I forget if it was in Mexico or what, but I came back and the mycelium had crawled all the way to the top of the bag. I gotta show you this. Hold on.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
All right. So hold on. I gotta be able to hear everything. So it's like it colonized and then it recolonized. There you can see like these little like flowering mycelia. But look, it's like up to here. It's not fruiting body. It's literally the mycelium. It's so aggressive. So I don't know. It's obviously not going to fruit in that bag. So I'm gonna probably throw it out on some wood chips and see what it does.
What
yeah,
if you
man.
bag?
What's that?
You ever just open the bag, leave it open?
I'm afraid to open that bag. Look at what the mycelium's doing. But yeah, I hear you. No, I think if I open the bag, I'd probably gut it. I'd probably take all that crawling mycelium out and see if I couldn't get it to, we'll see. But but it's just like, you never know, right? Like, let's just start growing other stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't even have to be edible. It doesn't even have to be medicinal. Doesn't have to be active. If you think a mushroom's cool, just try growing it. See what happens. Might figure something out.
Yes. Same fruits, just a gill shot.
Yeah, very
cool. For those of you
girl.
at home that are wondering what to look for.
The stipe has a nice the striations and the orange, sort of reddish orange over the yellow. I think that's really kind of the vibe, is it has that yellow underneath it, and then as it matures, it gets that orangey color. But
yeah,
then in bags, look what it's doing in a bag.
Yeah, so this is a culture from Marty McFly. He was, I don't know, driving around during work hours one day and saw some growing and cloned it for me. So of the 4 cultures I've been working, of the 4 luteofolius cultures I've been working, this is the culture that really seems to require the least FAE. And so that's going to be like a natalensis level, maybe maybe a little bit more than natalensis, but the other varieties need serious FAE.
Right.
And I have a setup that I'm not really willing to compromise much, so I just cut more holes in the bag. I actually leave them open so air can come in to the top. I just try different things, maybe less substrate or something. Just playing around with it until I figure it out. So,
man, this makes me think, another thing you could do is everybody's using those bubbler jars, where you take an aquarium pump into a little air stone in a bubbler jar, right?
Yeah.
Whether you did it through the bubbler or not, it probably would help with contam, but you could just have a tube going in the base, just blowing into the bag. And you could set up a manifold. You could do that for a bunch of bags. Just cut the tiniest hole, pop one of those tubes in, especially if you leave the top so that the air can get out. Yeah, man, that might be I might try that on. I got 2 luteofoliuses from Salty right now. I might try that on.
I've no doubt that that's a better idea than what I'm doing, but I really want to figure out this simple tech.
I hear you.
There are fans running in the wardrobe, and then I'm cutting holes in the bags, and
that helps.
If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I'll switch it up a little bit and try again. But yeah, these are
and the color though, they're so much redder.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. I should mention, you have my website listed under my name, I think. So all of my projects are available at multispore.com, or they will be soon. Everything is just I just ship in envelopes, so there's no tracking. It's real simple. But I have these real nice posters with this image on it. I wish I had one to grab. It's in the other room. But, with every order, you get it in a nice little, trifold luteofolius poster that comes with it.
Oh, I like it. Yeah, I'm looking at your site. Looks great.
It's simple, man. Thank you.
Easy to buy, cool genetics.
That's the idea. Close up of those last fruits.
And look at I don't even know if you call it an annulus, but it's like the frohawk going around the ring there. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think so. They don't get nearly the size they do outside. And again, Salty Unicorn would know this better than me. If he's in the chat, he can confirm or deny what I'm saying. But I think these indoor grows test about the same psilocybin levels as basic cubes.
Okay.
That's my understanding. The wild ones, not even close. But
so the indoor is more potent.
Significantly more.
Oh, wow.
That's my understanding.
Very cool. All right, so there are the gems. All right, so now we're moving on to, you guys saw the thumbnail for this episode. You'll recognize this fruit here.
Yeah.
All right. Introduce us. What do we got here? It's not a UFO.
It's not a UFO, but it might make you see UFOs. So the CRA. Okay, so this is really at the core of what I'm doing as a mushroom grower. This is, if there's one photo maybe that represents what I'm doing, it's this photo. I like the Super Ape a lot. I couldn't maintain it, so I decided I was going to cross it with the most opposite looking mushroom I could think of, which was the CRA. And I thought, surely we're going to get something good out of this. And it worked, man. It's
great.
It's a chocolatey ape. So I see a lot of other growers out there, like Dave Wombat with his Jack Frost, Miss Mush SoCal, Dirty South, they came up with these classics. I kind of just keep my head down and work. I don't know what everyone else is doing, but I wanted to come up with a classic. I don't know
I
if
love this.
Thank you. I hope I have the skills to market it well. This is still all very new to me, but I'm a really, really big believer in what this is as far as a nice phenotype that you're just going to want to see it over and over, and it's just going to get prettier every time you grow it. It packs a full house, as we'll see in just a second. It throws some different expressions. It likes to get funky, but man, it's everything I can hope for in a cross. And anyone out there in this oversaturated mushroom market, if you want one more thing on your spore swab shelf, this is really worth checking out. I've been working on it for who fucking knows. I've been working on it for a long time.
You've been working on it a while, because it's always the reason you haven't been coming on the show is you're not quite ready. So
yeah.
I felt how long it's taken. God dang it.
I could not be happier with how it's, every time I take it back to spore and it's doing something a little different, it just gets more and more exciting, man.
Well, all I got to say is this.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say right there. Just that.
Yeah.
Just that. Just landing in your backyard as soon as you make an order. Just look at that thing. It is a unique mushroom. It is a very unique morphology.
Yeah, I want it to be unique, but I also want it to kind of have a classic look.
It does.
There are some crazy phenos out there, and they're fun, but I want something that's easier for me to revisit, if that makes sense. I don't want it to always be crazy. Crazy sometimes is nice.
Yep.
But this is one you can really live with.
I love it. And it looks like it works.
It works very, very well.
It looks like it works, which is at the end of the day very important. All right, so let's take a further gander at this here.
Yep, these are some early grows, maybe probably F1 fruits.
Oh, I guess I should ask also. So what method did you use to cross these?
This is Daimon. So I couldn't get spores from the Super Ape. So I snagged a mono from the CRA and crossed it with the Super Ape.
Gotcha. Cool. Daimons, they're cool. They work. All right, look at that. My God. That is insane, dude.
Yeah, sometimes I get really, really tired of harvesting, but not so much with these. They're too pretty.
That is just like I want that to be my wallpaper.
Yeah.
My background. Or I want that to be the bed I sleep in tonight.
There you go. Just appreciating the shape. So you can see here they're dropping a little bit of spores.
Yeah.
And that's my classic 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞 ape, gills and about the amount of spores that they drop. But we'll see something different here in just a second. Another packed house. I guess these are the same gills, just some monsters in there, pretty big. Now, is there one more after this or not? Mm-hmm. There we go. Let's look at this one. You can see that fruit in the top. Actually, you can see the gills. The gills are darker, and you're getting almost a wine color on top of the cap, So now that they're dropping spores, I love the color of the spores on the chocolatey cap. It just really deepens it, and it's just more color. I like the color. So these are not, I don't have these on the website, and it's really just 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐴pe with more spores, but eventually this will be my double chocolate ape, or a lot of you that will grow this, you'll probably just end up with this anyway. But yeah, I'm really happy with how they're looking when they're dropping spores and with the darker gills. And then just a cute one to end on, because why not?
Look at that cool cap, dude. Look at just the texture on that cap even.
They have so much character.
I like this. All right, I'm gonna have to grow it.
Yeah, well, you got a free set coming this week, so.
Perfect. Not gonna complain. All right, what was it? That was the second one. Okay, so now we got this one here. All right, what are we working on here?
Oh, yeah, what was it called? The 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐿 Spore Hunt, or no. There was just a contest on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Hosted by MycoGeeky.
Mm-hmm.
And anyways, this was my submission for the 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐿 Spore contest thing that he was hosting, and it was a lot of fun. We had a group chat with everyone. So anyways, I didn't win the trip to Jamaica, but I was one of, I think, 3 people that actually got fruits out of it. So felt like an accomplishment anyway. But these are also up on the website. These are, just first generation, I guess, from the wild. And they did not drop spores. So they, they look like basic cubes, but they're clean. So that was nice. Oh, this is, I don't even know what's in here. Just some stuff I found in Japan, and I thought it was a nice photo.
Oh, cool. All right, so you went to Japan and you had some free time to look for mushrooms. That's awesome.
Yeah. If I could do it again, I would have been a little bit more organized and intentional, but now I know. But it was fun to get out and find things anyway. So now we're getting into future projects more. This is actually, I just found this photo when I was, putting the slideshow together for you. I'm actually going to grow this. These are 𝐦𝐸𝐿ensis. I have them labeled as indigo. I don't remember who sent them to me on Instagram, but they are really, really pretty. So
yeah, they look cool as hell, man.
That'll be a project coming up very soon, and I'll get these spores available to the public. Ovoids, everyone's finding ovoids.
Gotta find them. Tell me about where you found that one.
Just next to a little stream. They grow like crazy. They really, really like to grow around here. And again, I told that woman who published the book that I mentioned earlier, I told her that I've found psilocybes in Missouri, and she's like, there aren't psilocybes in Missouri. It's like, okay, well,
wow,
yeah,
it's not true if I put my head in the hole in the ground. Yeah. Is that a spider, or is that
it is? Yeah, kind of hidden right in the foreground. But those are also ovoids, so more ovoids.
Very cool.
More ovoids, just a good day's haul.
A nice old tray of ovoids.
Yeah, so this is another project that I guess a lot of people have asked me about that I recently released. This is a squatolensis low spore. So it's a squatolensis culture from, I believe his name is 11 feet east of west on Reddit. Okay. And then 𝐦𝐸𝐿ensis low spore from Yoshi. Man, it's done some amazing things for me. So obviously this one isn't very low spore. I'm not even sure if they're low spore, but they're crossed with the low spore. So I just kept it in the name. But yeah, that one kind of that was a one-off deal. It just did a spore print right on the stipe there.
I mean, when I first saw that, I thought the veil just perfectly laid down on that. But no, that's just a lot of spores.
I'm not sure what's going on.
It's impressive. And then look at that. Like it looks, do you see what I mean? It looks like the veil just laid down onto it.
Yeah, I've never really been able to figure out how that happened. And, it's funny because everyone wants like this. And I'm thinking, well, no, I want a low spore 𝐦𝐸𝐿ensis, because anyone who's worked with 𝐦𝐸𝐿ensis knows how dirty they are. And so even though this is really pretty, it's not a very practical, for me, it wasn't a very practical cultigen.
Right.
So this is more of what I'm aiming for. Less spores, still chubby.
So now this is Natalensis cross, or what is this?
It's the same. No, it's 100% Natalensis.
Wow.
Everyone asks. I actually had it. I had it called Updog for a while because everyone asked what it is. So
no way.
Yeah, this is pure Natalensis.
Dude, those gnarly stipes are too cool.
I set a goal for myself a while back. I wanted to have the best Natalensis culture out there. I'm not sure whether or not I've achieved it, but whatever I have, it's ready to get out there. And I really need a break from working with this culture. So
you're like, my work here is done. It is now your turn.
I'm checking out.
Yeah.
Yeah, real happy with these. Same culture, just a little bit different look, but you know, that's what I want from it.
Yeah, those look great. Looks like they're not dropping a ton of spores.
It's kind of perfect aside from the overlay. So those of you that know how to manage overlay better than me, well, of course, if you're not running it in bags, you're going to have better luck. But
right.
Yeah.
I have never grown them and not gotten overlay. So I know there are some people out here who are doing it, but not been me. Wow, these didn't even want to grow on the top hardly, did they? They said we're all going to just come out the side here.
Yeah, often the way I grow them in bags, I think they dry out on top a little bit because I have so much air circulating through there and I don't really spray. So
okay.
They like the side. Fine with me, whatever.
It's still fruit.
Some cuties.
Yeah, those are nice. Good figures.
Probably the flush there.
Wow, did you have your own plates made? Oh, or are those stickers?
Those are stickers, but
okay.
Maybe soon.
I like it.
Thank you. Yeah, so here's another project I'm working on. This is Steel Magnolia in Vapor Rust cross. It's done a lot of different things for me, and actually have a fruit here next to me right now that's looks more like a little bit more like Steel Magnolia, but it has the rust spores. So, you know,
yeah, these are kind of weird, dude. I dig it.
Thank you. It's not a home run though, and I want a more pigmented cap, I think. So I'm getting some different looks and playing with it, but you know, that's what I'm working on right now. That's more of a albino cap, but the same variety, more or less. Same thing. Pretty low spore. Those look kind of nice, but again, I think I just want some more color, so I'm still playing with it.
Yeah, I kind of like these. I would definitely start around with a couple of those in the back, I think. And I kind of like the color. I like the light blue, light cream. Yeah,
sure.
Those are cool.
Well, this can lead into, pull this out real quick, turn this light on.
Here we go. We're getting a full reveal at the end. I love it.
So yeah, so this goes right up until today. So a little bit more pigmented, I think. I mean, this is my first time. Can you see?
All right, you got to hold. It's too bright.
Oh, okay.
So you got to hold it. Whatever light you just turned on, I would actually turn that light off.
Okay, let's see here.
Better.
Is it?
Better.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a gorgeous fruit, dude.
Yep, got the rusty spores.
Oh, that is a gorgeous fruit. Yeah.
So that's what I'm working on right now. I'm liking that. So
clone that sucker.
Yeah.
Swab it, clone it, smack it up, flip it up, rub it down. All those 90s new Jack Swing references we can think of. Yes.
Put it back in the bag to grow a little bit longer.
There you go. I like it. Cool, man. Those are fun. I'm liking all that stuff.
Thanks,
And
man.
I think what I really love the most about you is, like you've said a couple times, you just kind of keeping your head down. You're focused on the work. This day and age, I mean, that's really what you got to do. If you're farting around worrying about what everybody else is doing all the time, and is he doing a cooler thing than me, or who's got the biggest this, and you're not getting nothing done doing that.
Yeah.
Just do your thing. Just do your thing. So I love you always have done your thing. You've always been focused on exploring, cultigens you like and working on products you have. I think this obsession with gyms right now is great. I'm just glad that Joshua Barnhart has a couple more friends to hang out with and talk to about gyms, because he's been talking about gyms for like a year nonstop. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that he's got some more people in his camp. I, having just found a luteus, also get it. They're really cool looking fruit. I am praying I get some ludifolius that look roughly like Salty's did. Definitely hoping. The color, man, I cannot wait to get some fruits on them.
Yeah, it took me a very, very long time. And now I have, right in front of me, I have, maybe I can show you all this. I can't really see what you see, but
love it. Yes. See, guys, you just got to get creative. He is in a closet. He's in a wardrobe.
Is that you can see what's going on here?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see.
Very cool.
Thank you. Okay, now I have no idea what I'm doing. Here we go. But yeah, so I have 5 stacks of plates in front of me, and those are the 5 projects I work at once. So
I love it.
So
you have a rule. You can only work on 5 projects at once.
Yeah.
You need a rule like that.
And then other things sneak in there, but I have my 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐸, my Natalensis, Steel Magnolia and Vapor, Gymnopolis, Albino Louis Vuitton. And then there's a miscellaneous stack that I don't deal with too much. And if you look on my website, that's pretty much what's on my website. So I try to really focus in on just a handful, do them the best that I can, and we'll hopefully figure out how to market these properly, because that's been the real challenge. Again, it's so oversaturated. Every soccer mom and their best friend is a mushroom breeder these days.
Everybody is. Yep, out of the gate, because of assholes like me who made it so easy to grow these mushrooms. Then once you grow them, here's the problem. I never thought there would be so many people that after they grow a single fucking tub of mushrooms would then go, oh, I should just start being a vendor right now.
Yeah.
But it's happening.
Yeah, I have maybe some sort of mission statement on my website, but I really want to offer a quality product. I want these things to hold people's interest over time. I think they're things really worth investing in. So
right. Well, let's take a quick look at it. Let me pull it up here.
Okay. Thank you.
Let's take a look at the site. All right. So you can buy some McFly. It's got a bunch of photos from where it came. Here's the 𝐥𝐤𝐸𝐸. Some more photos. We got the Squadalensis low spore, although it's so ironic you're calling this low spore, because look at all those spores. Although I guess here it's low spore.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. It's just time to.
It's still gonna do something else. All right, you got some ovoids up here. Very cool. Some Missouri ovoids. You got the Jamaican cubes, and then you got the wild collected ludifolius. I like it. Dude, there's something to be said. for what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And, you know, I just want to find my space as a vendor in this community. You know, again, I guarantee everything. And yeah, I just want to extend these things that I've worked hard to stabilize and I think are worth appreciating.
All right. Steve Bonus thinks you're about to sell out. I think you're right, Steve. So, and I'm going to just beat a dead horse. You're doing exactly what I am telling everybody to do right now, which is the only thing you can do in a super saturated market is stop trying to sell everything. Stop trying to just buy cool shit and resell it. It's lame.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Work your own shit.
Yeah.
If there's a cultigen you like, work it. If you're madly in love with iceberg, work it.
Yeah.
If you're in love with fucking hillbillies, work hillbillies. Do something with them. Do something different. And when you're at a point where everybody goes, oh, that's cool, that's different, then you did something.
Yeah.
And yeah, you don't got to have 100 things on your menu just to make it easy for everybody to be like the Walmart of fucking mycology. Be the boutique. Be the the bespoke motherfucker going, you can go buy shit all over the place. I got just my passion projects here.
I do have a range though. You know, those people that are convinced that they need to start off with Golden Teacher or whatever, the Jamaican's there. So
exactly.
I have the basic cube. Yep. I have, you know, the chocolate or the albino or the red spore, whatever. I really try to offer a nice range and keep it interesting.
All right, Wayne Myco, he just grabbed those gnat squats. He's going to help you out, dude. There you go. That's also a really cool thing where you're like, okay, I have gotten to a point with these where I'm going to let you play with them now.
Yeah.
And Dirty did that too. Dirty would send me stuff going, here, why don't you see what you can do with this? And I got a few buddies who do that too. That's a cool approach. That's a good attitude.
Salty Unicorn pulled an albino off of my culture. It didn't have somehow they didn't have the fat stipe because every one of my grosses had the fat stipes. His did not, but it was a pure albino.
Wow.
So anyway.
Yeah, see, that happens too. There's been many stories where it's like, I worked it. It looked like this. I sent it to my buddy. It looked completely freaking different. First grow. How'd that happen? Who knows?
Who knows?
You never know. That's why it's good to have myco friends. That's why it's good to try new things. That's why even if you think you know what you like, sometimes it's that one that you know, have you ever bought like 5 genetics and then they throw in one for free and the one you ended up loving was the one they threw in for free and you don't even know why, but yeah. Yep.
Yeah, speaking of having friends, shout out to the gym gang. I hope we can do something on here when we're all ready. You know, we're still kind of new to the Gymnopolis things as a group, but
we're gonna, because I'm friends with all you guys. So yeah. we got to get you guys on talking about gyms.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm not too far away from having my first gym flush. That would be great. But yeah, I think it'd be fun to talk about all that. And it'd be really nice to kind of set a bar or model what it looks like to go after a new species to try to grow it. I mean, people, to be fair, like we bash the shroomery a lot, but there's a lot of really serious motherfuckers on there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're really into doing projects and documenting their results and all that stuff. That, I mean, this is why it still exists, because people still appreciate that stuff.
I want to actually 2 things. I don't know how much longer we have here, but also I want to say hi to the Trike Team family. Thank you all for watching. You know who you are. But anyways.
Hey, did you say the Trike Team family?
Yeah, just the homies out there. You know, we share our trike with each other. So
nice. That is a club I'm not trying to join, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
You're one of us.
We are. Yes, we all are.
We all are. You just got to embrace it.
Yeah.
But you know, on the subject of people documenting their process and things like that, man, you might remember this. It was probably a couple years ago. I made a post on Instagram and I deleted it, but I made a claim about Dr. Mike, and I thought it treated the trike in one of my tubs or something. And then someone called me out, and they weren't very diplomatic about it, but I listened.
Wasn't me, was it?
No, it wasn't you.
Oh, okay.
But I listened, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna run some actual. You there?
Oh yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, my bad. So I decided I was going to run some actual experiments, and that was one of the most humbling things I've ever done. You know, and it doesn't just apply to mycology, just our worldviews and these things that we assume are true in really small ways and really big ways. My God, once you actually put it to the test, you know, it flips everything on its head. And so I don't claim to be scientific at all, because I did it. I did something scientific, and that's just not what I really do. It's, you know, it requires time and energy and resources that I don't care to.
Right.
I just don't care to do all that. So I fuck around, I learn, and certainly try to make it fun for myself as much as I possibly can. I always think about the tactile qualities of the things that I'm using, and I work with things that I like to touch, and, you know, just stuff like that to make it fun for myself.
Well, dude, I mean, we all do that, right? We try to come up with an experiment, and of course we very poorly usually control for variables.
Yeah.
And so a great example, I just had somebody who ran 2 tubs, but they had 2 variables in the tubs. And they were like, you know, one had this. So they're like, I can't tell if one did really well because of the casing layer or because of an additive I did or didn't use, because there's multiple variables. But, you know, it takes a lot of concerted effort to get a really well-controlled one-off experiment. And even if you do it, you only proved something for that one-off experiment. Like, clinically significant data points would have to be more than 30 tubs at a bare minimum.
Yeah, I heard someone.
And who's doing that?
I heard someone say one time, the objective of science isn't to establish truth, but likelihood.
Yes, right. I mean, yeah, look at right, like laws, right? Even in science, things that are like laws are still potentially up for revision.
Sure.
Right? Like a hypothesis versus a theory versus a proof versus all these different tenuous. It's just kind of like what we figured out for right now. But for sure, the scientific method is always trying to say, this is what I did, this is what I got, and if you do the same thing, we think you're going to get the same result.
Yeah. It's good to run an experiment, like a proper experiment, at least once. I will never forget that. As simple as it was, it had a real effect on me.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I am not usually also doing the super formal experiments. I am going to make one change to my growing for many, many grows, see what it does, and kind of get a vibe. I'm definitely trying to always get a vibe. So my vibe for Dr. Mike MPG Plus is every time I stop using it, I regret it. I like running it. I know people who'd never have touched it, and they also have phenomenal grows.
Sure.
I just like what it does to my fruits. It makes them sexier. I can't stop using it. It makes them too sexy. But yeah, that's cool. Thank you for saying that. You know, I've been a big proponent of his. And I don't know if I ever said this, and I don't know if it's like utterly necessary to talk about right now, but this came up at MycoFest. Somebody was talking to me about that, and I was like, look, man, I was on Reddit, and I mean, the smear campaign, it's snake oil, it's bullshit. People were coming at it so fucking hard that in my head I was like, is this guy onto something? Like, why are they hating on this so bad? Like, this seems weird to hate on something when all he's saying it is a bunch of bacteria, which out in the wild, there's a bunch of bacteria everywhere. I mean, I'm coated in a bunch of bacteria. You're coated, like, bacteria is everywhere. So why are we acting like this is such a problem? So I tried it. I gave it a real earnest go. Through months of trial and error, I found it to be phenomenal. If
Yeah.
nobody wants to do that, you don't have to. Keep growing mushrooms your way. But I definitely agree with what you just said, which is we got to always be willing to be wrong. And if we're trying to prove something wrong, we better not just try to do it once for a half hour and then say, well, I proved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not always that way. Well, man, I'm looking forward to definitely want to see how things evolve with the gym gang. I'm ready to hit the gyms. I'm ready to
Also, I'm going to ask everyone, please follow my, you can follow my Wardrobe Fungi Instagram if you want, but also the Multispore LLC. You know, that's more of my public profile, I guess. So please follow it if you haven't already. I'm trying to shift things over there a little bit, you know, because I don't want to get shut down. I don't want my wardrobe profile to get shut down for getting reported or something, you know. So I'm trying to keep that a little bit more contained. But if you shoot me a message, I'll probably add you. That's a
good play. Good play.
Thank you.
I think that's smart. We did that with the Discord. We saw a few Discords get shut down, and so P-Funk and a few of the mods were like, hey, you know, what do you think about making a no discussion of sourcing genetics on our site, and we could make a sacrificial site. So that's what we did. So I think that's a really smart idea. All the links will be in the description below after the end of the podcast, but it's pretty easy to find Multispore LLC on Instagram, or we'll also link Wardrobe, but reach out to them at Multispore. I got the same thing going on right now. I got like almost 10,000 people on my IG for MycoGeeky, and I got like 13 people on my MycoTrex. So yeah, I'm in the process of also trying to build up another account. So it's a process.
Yeah, and if anyone has any good marketing ideas, shoot me a message. You know, I'm really trying to figure out my way in this world, and I appreciate any advice or experiences you all have that you're willing to share.
All right, guys, you heard it there. A man on the internet asking for advice.
Oh God!
Don't let us down, internet. I mean, the amount of advice I get when I don't ask for it is outstanding. So
I already got suspended from Instagram ads. That was very short-lived. But
really, what was the ad?
I was just trying to sell spores.
That's haters, bro. I saw PGT just posted something about 90 getting same thing.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm utterly convinced it's gotta be haters, or it's gotta be utterly fucking random. Like, there are guys on YouTube teaching people how to sell drugs and their accounts not shut down. And then I know other, like Happy Hyphae posted one video that had nothing to do with freaking actives, or I don't even remember what it was, but he was like, and it got my whole account shut down.
Yeah. Huh. I can't imagine him ever doing anything wrong to anyone, but
I know, bro. You never know. But right, it's the internet. You can just quietly be a fucking asshole, and
it's true, man. When you're anonymous, so many people are assholes when they're anonymous. It's unfortunate. Well,
if you've ever lived in an extremely small city or small town, then you have this accountability, right? Like, man, if you work at the corner store and you get caught skimming off of the till, you know, you can't get a job in that town.
Yeah.
I had a cousin who got caught stealing at the Meijer, and he worked for Meijer, and he didn't even steal much. He was like just stealing little things here and there, and they caught him doing it a few times, and he got fired, and he couldn't get a job for like 3 years, man, because everybody in town knew he was a thief. They didn't want to hire him. Big cities, you can get away with anything. It's too many people to fucking know who you are.
I know. I think about this every day. Someone that lives not too far from me last night, they got their window bashed in their car, and their fucking steering column ripped apart. Like that doesn't happen in rural areas.
Yeah, I know.
It's just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But anyway,
It's really true. The anonymity, because I experienced it moving from I didn't live in a teeny tiny town, but a smaller town,
yeah,
more rural vibe. And then I moved to Detroit. That was totally different. Then I moved to LA. Very different. The anonymity of Los Angeles is because it's just so big.
yeah.
So that's why you hear so many crazy ass stories from the big cities because you can. Yep.
A lot of it doesn't even go reported.
It really, yeah. It's very bizarre. But the internet, the absolute worst, because there's just total anonymity.
A couple of days ago, I saw a perfectly fine car set on fire.
What?
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. It was not, it had no damage, no like.
It didn't just catch on fire, like the engine didn't overheat or
damage. No, this was
weird.
Set on fire. Yeah.
Somebody pissed off their girlfriend, dude.
I guess. I don't know.
Man, I'm gonna tell you right now. So for a while, when I was in Detroit, I managed bands, I produced music, and I rapped and worked with a rap duo. They were kind of like a Outcast, sort of.
Okay.
And the one split ways. We started a band, so they used to just rap to tracks and all that, and then the one guy was really into the band thing, so we got the band together, and the other guy left. He wasn't feeling it so much, so the guy that left, he just stayed in Detroit. We all moved to LA. 3 years later, he had been living with his girl. His girl thought he was cheating on him. He came home, walked through the front door, she blew a hole in his forehead, and he wasn't actually cheating on her.
That's unreal.
Crazy shit. I was like, man, Trip, you should have fucking moved to LA with us, bro.
Dude, yeah. I'll be back in the woods again one of these days.
Well, yeah. With the way things are going, we might all be running for the woods soon.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I miss it.
Oh, yeah. Gotta balance. The city's cool. I love the city, but you definitely gotta get your dose of leaves and trees and rivers and creeks and animals scurrying about, sound of crickets, all that stuff. Yeah. Gotta find a way to stay sane. The city can definitely drive you crazy.
Absolutely.
I think. I mean, but then with that said, the country can drive you crazy too.
Sure, there has to be a balance. I could never handle. I can do New York in small doses, and that's plenty for me.
I hear you. Yeah. All right, man. Well, Wardrobe Fungi finally on the show. I am so happy, and I love the idea that maybe, I don't know, a few 3-4 months down the road, we get the gym rats on. My buddy Cass said, "Hey, it's like the gym rats." That would be a cool shirt, dude. You gotta get some gym rat shirts.
Oh yeah, I will be at the Oklahoma Mushroom Festival coming up too. I might have some fun merch, so find me there, please.
All right, when is that?
October 12th and 13th.
12th and 13th, Oklahoma. Yeah. All right, guys.
You coming?
I want to because I know it's a good one. We'll see, man. I got so much shit going on. I'm going. What am I doing next? I'm going to a little nature preserve with some taxonomy people. There's something else going on after that. Then I got NAMA. Then I got another thing in I don't remember where it is, Massachusetts. We'll see. One day, once I'm making the big money, doing the big podcasts, maybe I'll be able to go everywhere. But for now, I got to pick and choose. But Oklahoma's supposed to be good. I've heard only good things about that mushroom festival. So if you guys are in the area, my rule of thumb is if you live within like 3 to 5 hour drive of a mushroom festival, fucking go to that mushroom festival. You get to hang out with people who like mushrooms as much as you. It's cool. It's fun. It's worth doing.
Yeah, well, it'll be fun to meet some of these people in the community that I've had exchanges with over the past few years. Some of them I talked to
Yeah.
I mean, I talk to �𝐚𝐳𝐭 and Ness. I talk to these guys every day.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Shout
out to that is Ness, one of the old school homies. Yep. Shout out to �𝐚𝐳𝐭. Yeah, man, he was gonna be coming to Mexico with me. I was ready to hang out with him, but hopefully next year he had some things come up. But I agree, getting to hang out with people.
Yeah.
Got to hang out. I went to Myco Fest, got to hang out with PGT, got to hang out with a bunch of people that watched the show, got to hang out and see some people I hadn't seen for a hot minute. So it was definitely good. Shout out to 𝐸𝐸 2.0. Should just be 𝐸𝐸, but some motherfucker shut his account down. So now it's 𝐸𝐸.
What's up, 𝐸𝐸? Thank you for being here, man.
Yeah, he was one of my old school buddies too. It was great to get to meet him. Yeah, you get to do that. You get to do that if you go to these events. You get to run into people, and it's worth it, man. Yeah. So you'll be doing it, Oklahoma Mushroom Festival. You guys heard it here. Go hang out with Wardrobe, guys.
Yeah. Go
do it for me.
Can't wait.
Yes. All right, man. Well, thanks again. We're gonna do it again. We're gonna do it with the gym rats. We're gonna talk all about gyms. We're gonna go deep. I'm gonna do some homework. We're gonna really get into it.
Cool, dude. Thanks again for having me on. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks for letting me talk about my website, my projects, my friendships, all that. It's an honor to be part of such a wonderful community. These are my people. I do a lot of other things. I have a day job. I do a lot of other stuff, but I really, really like this community. So at least my little corner of it. It's wonderful.
I'm with you. Well, man, I've loved you for a long time. I definitely value our friendship. We don't talk every freaking day. We did for a hot minute, but things happen and then you get famous and see, man, look at that old school sterilizer. I love it. And you got the P-Funk. Oh, let me see that again. Yeah, dude, P-Funk had this cool ass monkey sticker. When did you do that?
I've had it like this for a while. You told me you liked it before and you wanted me to make a decal, and I didn't do it.
Oh, did I? Oh, I don't even remember that. Yeah, dude, that's badass. See, these things fucking last. All you gotta do is not. I just had to repair one for somebody who the switch on the foot pedal got switched and I think it got all burned out. But
my green light doesn't work, so. But you know me.
But it still works.
It
still works.
Yeah. Oh, sure. I shouldn't talk about the problems on. It was gifted to me, as you know. But
yeah.
Anyways, sorry.
Cool, man. No, the green dude. I had another guy send me his back, and he was like, "Yeah, I think it was the red light that didn't work." And I was like, "If you send it back to me, I'll fix it." But I mean, if it works, who cares? But yeah, exactly. He wanted it fixed, so we did it.
It's not really worth my time and money to mail it back, but maybe eventually
we'll fix it. I feel like that's a work of art right there, though, dude.
Yeah, I'm happy.
I love that.
Thank you.
I love it. Now mine feels naked. I feel like I need to do like a collage sticker. It might be really cool.
Well, what happened is when I got it, it didn't have your decal on it, which you know the story there. But then I
think I remember the story. Yes.
And then I cleaned it with acetone, which was really stupid. And it it melted the plastic. So
pretty much melt some of the plastic. Yeah.
So I had to cover it all up with stickers. So yeah, it has a kind of a weird surface, but it works.
That's great, man. Yeah, dude. If I remember, didn't we don't need to name names, but didn't you have one break and then somebody in the Discord or somebody in our group like gifted you one, right?
That's the gist of it.
That's awesome. Love that stuff.
It got lost in the mail. The one
the other one got lost in mail. Oh, okay.
Yes.
That sucks.
Yeah. But anyways, I was able to get one through your Discord channel. I just put my fingers out. I said, hey, I can't really afford this right now, but if anyone has an extra, sure enough, someone showed love. So
ask and ye shall receive. Wardrobe. That's all you got to do. It's a good life lesson.
Absolutely.
All right, dude. Well, thanks for that unexpected plug on the old sterilizer at the end. I appreciate that. You guys definitely go check out multispore.com. And if something piqued your interest tonight, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to rock that 𝐥𝐤𝐤 ape here real soon. Stay tuned. I'll definitely show off some fruit from that.
It's headed your way. Don't worry.
Sweet, man. I'm ready. I'm also going to be messing with this no sug, no simmer well bird seeding. I might have to get your actual brand and see if I can source it.
Yeah, I don't have it. I mean, it's in the other room. So
I'll bug you for it later.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool, man. All right. Well, thank you very much. This was super fun, and we'll have to do it again.
All right. Good night, man. Thank you.
All right, dude. See ya. All right, guys. The one and only Wardrobe Fungi. I used to call him Wardrobe Mycology. I almost did it again. We didn't talk about this, but so there was a day where he messaged me and he was like, dude, you know what? And I think this was like right around the time I met Ed Grand, and Ed started coming on the show, and more people were talking about like, oh, people actually have PhDs in mycology, and those people are called mycologists. And in order to call yourself a mycologist, you probably should do some real scientific work with fungi, right? And so Wardrobe told me he made the decision to change his name from Wardrobe Mycology to Wardrobe Fungi. And I thought, well, you probably don't have to do that, but that's cool. I dig that. I think he's like the only person I've ever known who made that conscious decision to like show reverence to the real mycologists, people that take it seriously in a more scientific way and truly endeavor to study a given genus, or have a more focused interest in the scientific understanding of mushrooms, right? So anyway, just another thing that makes that guy super cool. One of my favorites. So glad we got a chance to talk to him, get to know him, see some of his work. I encourage anybody who wants another project to go check out multispore.com. I encourage anybody that's trying to vend, trying to make a business of it, to really consider his model. I think it's a really good one. I mean, the market is just getting flooded. Everybody and his brothers doing the same fucking thing. Be original. Do something different. Pick some cultigens that you're in love with and work them and do something special with them. I really gonna beat a dead horse on that one. Otherwise, do whatever you want to do. I can't tell people what to do. Y'all are grown. So anyway, next week, I'm trying to get together this Mexico episode. I'm trying to get, a few amount of people on the show. Coordinating schedules is a little different, a little difficult. We'll see what we can do. There will be an episode next week. Hopefully it'll be the Mexico episode. If not, it'll probably be the following week. But yeah, I'm hoping to get a bed going here, an outdoor grow bed. So we're probably gonna have Happy on here shortly. So stay tuned. Anyway, we're gonna get back. I know for a hot minute I was really doing a lot of a lot of taxonomy, a lot of like foraging type stuff. We're definitely gonna shift gears, get back into a little bit more cultivation for a while. I miss it. I know everybody else probably misses it too. So stay tuned for that. And until next week, just go grow some mushrooms.